Let's say we have a painting that you really like so far, but you feel like something's not quite right with it and you want to change it slightly. Before touching the actual pastel painting, let's look at one, say like this, and you go, it's okay, but it needs something else. We are concerned as pastelists to the aspect of building up too much pastel on your paper, on your substrate, and filling the tooth. So what's a way of adjusting this and trying out some ideas without actually touching the paper? But there's this great program that many of us are using, which is called Procreate, and it's very versatile and I use it a lot. So Procreate, and it has this nice little brush stroke across. We can open that, and these are some prior aspects, paintings and things I've been working with, and I will click photo there. It takes me to my albums, and I can click on that last photo that I imported, and here we are. See, you can move this image around, but first, here's brushes up here. So in brushes, you have a great variety of brush strokes that you can play with on this. Sketching, drawing, airbrushing, textures. I often like this one, Rectangle, because to me it looks something like pastel marks with the side of a pastel. So we'll grab that one for now. And here again, once I have the brush chosen, I can make it a larger brush or a smaller brush here. And here I can push the opacity. So by bringing it down, it's just going to be a light glaze over the painting, or by making it totally opaque, it will cover a lot of what's already there. So I don't know, let's just play with this. This was a quick sketch in class, kind of as a demo. The background mountain is nice. It's kind of pushed back, nice and soft. I'm not really happy with the trees. I'm just going to play with this. Actually, the sky as well. Anyway, so I was doing a limited palette, playing around. This is your color up in this corner, the upper right-hand corner. And to change that, you click that dot, and there's a number of different ways of approaching your colors. You can do it in a disc and move the color around that way, change the hue on the outside, change the value on the inside. You can do it in a classic method, just bringing it around, lighter tint, more of a shade, your pure color here. You can slide rule here for the different changes of hues. Also, you have your intensity, but you can see, but once you choose the hue, you can go anywhere in here and it changes the intensity and the value of that. It's also, you can choose harmonies. What kind of harmony do you want? You can move this around. If this is your main color, what are your other colors going with it? You can go totally by value. You can do palettes. I tend to like the classic. For me, it's the quickest one to use. I've seen other people very happy with the disc. I'm going with the palette. So let's say we want to change that tree to keep more in blue tones. I can see here that it's kind of a light viridian, but there's also some yellow green in there. And if I want to stay away from the yellow greens, I can do that here. So by choosing my hue, a little on the green side, but see how I bring it that way? It becomes a very yellow green. I can bring it here. Move this around for the value or the intensity. I want it fairly mid-tone. You can also use, if you have an iPad, you can use your pen to move this around. I should do that so my finger's not getting in the way. So the chosen color is up here. See how it changes as I move it? There's the chosen color. This is the previous color. So I'm going to choose that, maybe a little more intense and maybe a little more blue. So now I've chosen the color. I can come back to my picture and choose the size of my brush or my mark, like that. And I don't want it too opaque. I'm going to skim across the top of this. And here I can start checking it out. There it is. Okay, if you do that, down here is your undo button. So I'm checking the size. It's a little big. Let's bring it down a little more. Okay. Get rid of those marks. And now I'm going to use my finger to, that's too intense. See how intense that is? I don't want it that intense. So I delete that by just going back. I'm going to bring the opacity down, and I'm just going to try some more green across there. And I'm just playing. I can quickly change the value. Do that again. I bring it down here, a little deeper value, back to my painting, and I can try this out. Bring some over in here. This little tree, I don't like the shape of it that much, so I can change it rather quickly. Don't like those blast marks. Undo, undo. Bring it maybe down in here. Don't like that. I'm going to bring it this, nope, don't like that either. I'm going to give it some more darks. And if I want, I can also go back up to choose my colors. I'm going to pull it more into the blues. See how it's changed there? And then I can bring that color in a little more. If I want it more intense, I can hold it a little bit longer. I'm not really being very conscious at this point of making this into a great painting, because my point in this video is to show you how to use Procreate to your advantage. Okay, this yellow, this yellow is very yellow, so to choose the color you have to hold it. It shows you your prior color below and your latest color at the top. That's our choice. I think I want to cool this down a bit. So I'm going to kind of neutralize this and lighten it a bit. Neutralize and lighten. See, as I'm bringing it into the more neutral colors. So let's check this. It shows you that's too dark. That's not what I wanted at all. I want something lighter, but still I'm checking up here. This is my color change right here. That's my color change. Light and somewhat neutral. Coming back to the painting, I can use my pen. It's very light, so I want to push the opacity and I want to bring down my brush size because I want to do more detail. I'm going to overlap a little bit so you can see what's going on. A little touch here. And a little bit of that warmth down in here. I can also bring down my opacity and say I want to carry that color up into the sky a bit. Just very quickly, I can try out more of a yellow in the sky. Bring my size of my brush down. Bring that across. I like how that's tying together a little better. Don't like that last mark. See how it's now tying the painting together. I like this blue over here. I'm going to adjust that to be a little lighter. And I'm going to lighten the background somewhat. So without touching your painting, you can make some adjustments and check them out before you actually touch your painting. And see how I touch and hold to pick up a color. Let's cool this one down a little bit more. It's staying in the same value range and the same intensity, but I have cooled it down somewhat, a little too much, because I want it different from the tree. Okay, that looks pretty good. So then I can just kind of skim across here to see if I change that, how will that work in this painting. Don't like those last marks. And then you don't have to worry about erasing or brushing off. You can just do it quickly right here in Procreate and not affect the amount of pastel on your painting. I'm going to bring that up into the sky. That's too thick. I want less intensity because I just want to less opacity. I want to have a swoosh across there, tying these together. A little light right there. Anyway, you can see it's kind of fun. It's easy to use, and then you can save it. Not great, I'm just playing around with this. So now I am going to go to Gallery here. It's going to take me back to my gallery. I am going to select the painting, this one, and I can select more than one if I want to take them back. And then I can share it as a JPEG, and I've exported it. Oh, unsuccessful, lets you know that it didn't go. That says it did. I can send it to my phone, I can send it to the cloud, I can send it wherever I want this to go. Let me show you this one rather quickly. This was a photograph that I took, and I played with this in Procreate. This is the actual photograph, and by playing with the photograph, I can change the elements and the design and the colors the way I want to do it. So it's not just for paintings, you can also use it to adjust your original reference photo. Do try this if you want. If you have the equipment, check it out, because Procreate can be a great tool